Well, good afternoon, everybody. Guess what? It's going to be time for the Usika Zombie Alert Fusion Net. Yes, sir. That's what we're going to have, an old-fashioned net going on. You betcha. But I've already heard early bird check-ins. I've heard W1IK camping up in the Nord Country. Indian River, that's where he's at. Indian River, Michigan. We got WV80. He's hanging in the wind there. He's down in Sox. We got Alpha Charlie 8 Zulu Delta. He's wrestling the kids around and trying to make sure they don't eat the crayons. We got NAHUB checking in too. So we're going for the early bird check-ins. We've only got a little time left for officially starting the net, but I'll take you right now. Just take your time with your call sign and name. This is NA Today.
Victor Kilo 4, Mike Sierra, it's now across the pond. Good evening, Chuck.
Alrighty, and we have just added VK4MSS. What would the net be without mail checking it? It would be dull and it would be boring. So we're glad he's checked in this evening, or morning on his case, whichever it may be. Let's find out if there's any other check-ins. We're starting things up pretty soon here. We've got a couple minutes to go, but I'm getting them early birds in. Call, sign, and name, please. Well, alrighty, and just starting things off, we do have W1IK, WB80, Alpha Charlie 8 Zulu Delta, N8HUB, and VK4MSS. I'm N8ZA, and we're starting the net here, and I think we got less than a minute now, I do believe. So, let's find out if there's any other check-ins. If I miss you, I will call for more check-ins. But let's get you in here with your call sign and your name.
Yeah, November 8, India, Quebec Tango, Doug in San Antonio. Good evening.
Alrighty, and we just picked up Doug, so very good. N8IQT is checking in with us. It is that official time for the Usika Zombie Alert Fusion Net. We're always welcome to check in. We got a good handful of check-ins so far. It's our official time start, though, opening up for more check-ins. I just need your call sign and your name, and if I get you lost in the mix, I will call for more check-ins, and we will get you in. So, let's get you in here now, though. Call sign and name slowly. Alrighty, we are just going to start off with the group we got so far. Now, I know you guys are always, harping. We're always talking about power supplies, antennas, velocity factors, all the losses in the coax, crimping coaxes, soldering coaxes, whether you like to sit there and use power poles. Do you crimp them? Do you solder them? Do you just tape them together? Do you use them to do butt connectors that have the solder and stuff? I know we're always about all this and reading a Smith chart. We're always just talking about that stuff. We're not going to talk about that. Of course, this past weekend or two, we had the Gratiot Cruise here in Michigan. People come from all over the world to cruise up and down Gratiot. Massive car show. Oldies, newies, they're all there. And, of course, now we have the big new car show going on in downtown Detroit, which used to be in the dead of winter when it was 30 below zero, but now it's not. My question is to you, I want you to go back to your childhood, the first time you stole a car, the first time you found a car and took the keys, your first car or your favorite hot rod. We want to know, do you have one of those? Did you have one of those? For that old-time car, what was your favorite car? Let's be lighthearted today. I know Jim likes his bugs. W1IK, Mr. Jim, welcome to the net.
Control for the Usika Thursday night C4FM System Fusion Net on the Zombie Alert Network. Good evening, Chuck, and good evening to all aboard. This is Whiskey 1 India Kilo Portable 8 in Indian River, Michigan at Burt Lake State Park, where it is a beautiful sunset evening. It was a nice day all day, mostly clear, no rain. Our high temperature was probably about 75 degrees, probably 3 in the the afternoon or so, and we're going down probably into the mid-50s tonight. It was cold overnight last night. We were down to 45 last night. Had to run the furnace in the RV for the first time on this Odyssey. At any extent, control for the Usika Thursday night C4 FM System Fusion Net on the Zombie Alert Network. Good evening, Chuck, and good evening to all aboard. This is Whiskey 1 India Kilo Portable 8 in Indian River, Michigan at Burt Lake State Park, where it is a beautiful sunset evening. It was a nice day all day, mostly clear, no rain. Our high temperature was probably about 75 degrees at probably 3 in the afternoon or so. And we're going down probably into the mid-50s tonight. It was cold overnight last night. We were down to 45 last night. Had to run the furnace in the RV for the first time on this Odyssey. At any extent, you said first and all that kind of stuff too. The first vehicle that I had that was, shall we say, commissioned to me was a 1968 VW Westphalia camper van. It went down from my oldest brother Randy, who happens to be standing next to me right now. But it was on its like third or fourth motor by the time I got it. Those things were, fill it up with oil and check the gas, and you take it in for an engine change every 5,000 miles. But at any extent, it was a fun vehicle to have as a young teenager driver. Didn't last very long. Wound up graduating to hand-me-down, a 1970 Pontiac Bonneville four-door sedan with a four-door hardtop, I should say, with a 455 motor in it. Man, that thing sucked down premium gas. Oh man, 50 cents a gallon. 50 cents a gallon for premium in 1978 when I was driving that thing. And man, did she suck it down fast. Had about a 35-gallon gas tank. You could just watch it go down. But boy, I'll tell you what, and everything that would keep your beer cold, which at age 18 was really important. So, and I could drive that thing and get 7 of my closest friends in the car with me. 4 across the front, 4 across the back, bench seats all the way around, and that was a bomber. Anyway, lots and lots of things I could say about favorites and so on and so forth, but that's something to think about. You all have fun with that. I'll just leave this here, as the kids say. Back to the control, N8ZA and the group. This is Whiskey 1 India Kilo, Portable 8 in Indian River, Michigan.
All right, there, Jim, in Indian River, Michigan, doing the camping thing. Well, sounds like Randy found a sucker to buy that car. I mean, well, you know what I mean. Anyway, good for Randy. All right. And those cars, yeah, some of them cars, geez, they drank the gas. And I can remember, if I could go back to look at myself, when gas went to 50 cents a gallon, and I went, nobody's ever going to pay that. The country's going to go nuts. Oh, I'm just laughing at myself now. Let's talk to WB80. We're going to find out what kind of first-time car did Walt have, or even we also want to know his favorite hot rod. Maybe it's a Buick Skylark, or maybe, I don't know what it's going to be. We're going to find out. Walt, over to you.
Phoenix at AWB80. Truthfully, I married my first car. Charlene had a 1956 Dodge. This was a 60. So in those days, it was a relatively new car. God, they probably weighed 5 times what my Chrysler minivan weighs now. Push button to get into gear on the left-hand side. Very high end, very high end. And I had to come back here after my shift came in, and we flew in and then drove the vehicle back. And I had to get a driver's license, and the cop said, you got to come back tomorrow. I said, I'm leaving for Norfolk. He said, the chief petty officer here, they had you could sign up for the Navy in the Warren Police Station area. Believe it or not, we're throwing them a bow in the white party, and that's when I mentioned I'm a Navy. He says, okay, because we're opening up the pier. In those days, you know, they drank after hours. And put it in gear. Okay, put it forward. You passed. I didn't take the written. Signed me up. I cracked open a beer with them, and we drove away. I was licensed. I want to say hello to Mel. I want to know if Mel knows Simon Day. Simon Day. Let me buy some time. Simon Day claims he's a son of King Charles, and he lives in Queensland. Boy, oh boy. And I say hi to Doug and at IQT. I'm looking at a note last Wednesday night, and I'm going, what net was I supposed to check in on Wednesday night? And Doug's going to tell us. Going to tell us what net I should check in and others. Back to net control over here for the 73 round WB80.
All right, those who are checking in, think about the 73 round when we eventually get to, because we'll just have check-ins for that, because we usually go down the list and everybody's gone to dinner or to pet the cat. All right, let's move along and see if Alpha Charlie 8 Zulu Delta is in there. Dave, put them kids down for a minute. What's that first car you had, your favorite hot rod? Over to you.
Well, good evening, Chuck, and everyone on the net. I'm just trying to check to see if I'm actually making it in. It looks like I am. Okay. Yeah, the kids are busy. They went to the orchard today, and they got some apples. So we're making apple pie upstairs. So they're distracted with their mom with that. First car was a Buick. It's funny you mention this. Well, not Skylark, but Skyhawk. I had a Buick Skyhawk, 4-cylinder car. And the speedometer only went up to 85. I tried to go faster than 85, and yeah, I did. I tried to go faster than 85. The whole car would shake. It's almost like Back to the Future. And then, finally I graduated to a Grand Am, so an 88 Grand Am. I had that for a while. And then finally I had a proper job, and then I actually bought a car, so when I had my first job. So the other ones are all used cars, and then went through a slew of cars. You know, my favorite car though was the Walter White vehicle. If you don't know who Walter White is, Breaking Bad, he had that Pontiac Aztek. That was my favorite car because at the time I had a golden retriever, and I mean, you could take the seats out of it, and the dogs would just love it. So, anyways, I won't hold it too long here, and I'll give it back to Net, and we'll say more in the 73 round. This is ACACD. Go ahead.
All right there, Dave. Yeah, them Pontiac Aztecs, they had like a cult following. I mean, they're supposed to be pretty tremendous. So, very, very good. I had a 65 Impala that I drove that was Mom's for a while, and then my friend had a 68 Charger, which is my favorite old-time car, 68 Charger, and I almost ended up with one. Almost had it. We went to this dealership, and they used, of course, and there was a bunch of them. They were, mint. And I got in it, and every time I hit the brakes, I was putting the guy through the windshield, and he got real upset with me. How long have you had your license? And da-da-da-da-da-da. Mind you, I had my mom with me. And I said, well, I've been driving since I've been 14. I got like this special license, restricted license, because Mom had some issues. And he said, get out of the car. Let me back it out of here. Oh, yeah, he got the car out all right. And he just about put us through the windshield a bunch of times, and then drove us a little bit. He said, yeah, there's something wrong. He says, you can come back tomorrow. You can come back tomorrow, and I'll get this all taken care of. And for some reason, we never did. And I wish I would have, because it was a nice car. But the look on that guy's face when he hit the brakes, and we were going through the windshield there. So, yeah, who's the dumb person then, huh? All right, NAHUB, let's talk to Andy. Let's find out what his first car might have been and what his favorite car is, favorite hot rod. We want to know there, Andy. Over to you.
NAHUB, good evening, Chuck. Good evening to the group out there. Everybody sounds pretty good. And you're talking back a lot of years for me, but I can't remember the first one. But I know my kid brother used to have a few old cars around. He's a couple years younger than me. He's always buying, selling, and trading cars. And had this nice 57 Shifty, 57 Chevys, old 58 Buick Roadmasters, and plus a few pickup trucks. But you never kept them. Always fix them up, pretty them up, and you got them running. You got them looking good, and sold them. So I don't think I'd have anything that would be my favorite. But probably one of the old pickups, I guess. Yeah, F-150 or 250, something like that. It was always good work trucks. How about you, NHB?
All right there, Andy. Very, very good. Let's talk to Mel now. Now we're going to find out in a whole different country what he might have had, and we're going to find out. Mel, welcome to the net. And what about maybe your first car, and, of course, your favorite hot rod, and, of course, Walt wants to know if you know about that guy that he's related to the king or something, and he has a problem with pens also. Mel, over to you.
This is VK4 Mike Sierra. Coming back there. I think you gentlemen should go put the billy on and make yourself a nice cup of tea. This could be a little bit on the longer side. We'll go with the topic for this evening. Really speaking, and we'll limit this to my teenage, and who remembers the term twenteen? That was when you had your 19th birthday, and your 20th birthday was coming up, and it was the 20th and maybe 21st and 22nd birthday, and you didn't really want to let the teenage years go by. Yes, well, in those years, I never really had a favorite car, although of the cars I did have, and they were quite a number, one that was a little bit better in my case than the rest was a 1954 Ford Custom Line. Custom lines in Australia were generally known as Cutto. So I had a 54 Cutto. And I didn't have it for very long, but it was an excellent vehicle, especially for those wet winter nights when you were squiring a young lady around town, get in the back seat, and various other bits and stuff hidden in the glove box. That was probably my favourite car. But during those same years, my favourite mode of transport was two wheels. I learned to ride motorcycles in 1961, and I sold my last motorcycle in sold the last motorcycle in 2006. So, worked that one out. But of all the favourite bikes I had was still in my teenage years, late teens, I was about 18, 19, and I had a BSA 65 Super Road Rocket. That was its official name. The Birmingham Small Arms Company, BSA, made the bike. A65 was the production line model, and the name was originally Road Rocket, but with the A65 they made a bigger, better one, and it was a Super Road Rocket, and I kept that bike for 2 years, and I had all the fun in the world on it. And I even raced it. I raced it for 2 years and had a jolly good time. Never came off the bike at all while I was racing it. The safest place to ride a motorcycle, as fast as you like, or as fast as the bike will go, is on the racetrack. On the road, another story. All right, moving right along. Chazza. Good old Chazza. The bloke that's sitting on the throne. Interesting name, throne. That big braided gold chair with plush velvet seats. Royalty. In Australia, when you talk about the throne, that's that white porcelain that's inside a very small room, generally one, maybe two, in every house. We call it the throne room, and we go in there and we sit on the throne. So, but good old Chazza, well, we'll wait and see what happens with him. He's commonly known as Chatter because his name's Charles. And Charles, people who have an A following a consonant in their name generally get double ZA on the end. So Charles becomes Chatter. Walter would become Wazza. G'day, Wazza, how you going? Or in the true Australian, g'day mate, how you going? All right, eh? Yeah, so that's there for it. And his other name, not Walters. Chazz's other name, Wingnut. It doesn't need a lot of intelligence or thought to work out why he might call Wingnut. Just look at him full face on, and then just go to the hardware store and look for one of those nuts that you do up with your thumb and finger. So that's about it for the comments here today. It's a bit of good fun there, and a special good evening to you there, Walt. Yes, there are a number of logs in the stream as I speak, and I'm going away, not this weekend, as of tomorrow here. The following weekend I'm going away, so I won't be on next Friday. Neither will I be on the following Friday, because the first trip is 500 kilometres due south, and the second trip is about 400 kilometres due north on the following weekend. So I'll be away on both Fridays, and there will be vlogs made from those, plus the one I'm working on at the moment. So there you go. Back to you, Net Control. Chuck, wonderful bloke to have there. Very nice listening to you. And all the others on the net as well. So back to you there, Chuck. N8ZA, Net Control. This is Mel, across the pond. Cheers for now. I will be back for the 73 round if you have one.
All right there, Mel. Very, very good. That's very good, yeah. And, yeah, well, them bikes are something else. I like the name. Well, let's see what Doug was going to say, N8IQC. By the way, back in the day, and I'm sure you guys had back in the day, a lot of the kids' cars, but, hey, so-and-so got a new car. Well, it wasn't a new car. There wasn't a straight pan on it, and it might even have blown smoke, but it was a new car. And these days, kids want a new car. I remember a friend of mine bought his car, and she said, I'm not driving that color. And so he went to the son, you want that car? He went, yeah. So, I am. What's the deal with kids today? Half of them, when we got our new cars that didn't have a straight panel in them, half the tires were bald, too. And maybe missing all the hubcaps. N8IQT, Doug, welcome to the net, and over to you.
Yeah, hey, Chuck and the group. Good to hear everybody on. Let's see. I had a 1977 Cutlass V8 4-barrel. And that was the kind of car, it was in high school. We'd flip the air filter, the carburetor, so you get more air intake in it. Not like these kids do now with these 4-bangers, and they put these mufflers, and, they do 0 to 60 in about 20 seconds, right? I mean, those things moved for, the 70s. It was a fun car. It was a fun car. I had a 74 Buick Regal, kind of similar to Regal as well. We had a lot of GMs back in the day. So that's it from San Antonio. Yeah, I'll stick around for the 73 round. I've been so busy here. Kids got off to college. Both daughters in college, and I'm driving up to Lubbock, which is 385 miles. For you guys looking at your hand at the thumb, that would be like Detroit or Troy to about Rockford, Illinois, or Iowa. Long ways. Back to Net Control. N8IQT, San Antonio.
All right there, Doug. Very, very good. Thanks for being in there. And let's talk to Glenn. VE3 Golf, Quebec Golf. Glenn, what about that first car? Let's find out what Glenn's car was. He's in Canada there. It might have been some sort of a Volkswagen also. You never know. And his favorite car, I bet you, is going to be something like a Pinto. But let's find out. Glenn, welcome to the net and over to you. So the big question, Glenn, if you didn't know, because he might not know, is, what was your first car, and what's your favorite car, your favorite hot rod, that kind of stuff there. Glenn, over to you. Anything.
Oh, good to everybody out there. All going to be better than that. My
first vehicle was a 95 Chrysler Neon. That was what I was driving when I was learning to drive. I used to rent that thing from the old car rental place on my very first credit card with Canadian Tire. And whenever I wanted to go for a ride, I'd rent it for a weekend and take off. And I went all over the place. I went to Chicago. I went all the way up to Brampton and Barrie, Ontario, Niagara Falls, and Calgary. I went anywhere I could go on a weekend. And I would put 1,200 kilometers, which is probably about 1,000 miles on that car in a weekend. And I would just go crazy. I loved it. And the 95 Neon had this overdrive feature that was just amazing. And on the highway, if you dropped it into the second, third gear or something, you could really buzz past people on the 401. Because, I mean, well, they drive slow anyway. But I didn't manage to get any tickets, so that was always a good thing, too. But, yeah, that was my starter vehicle. And then I had a 95 Mustang for about a weekend. Well, that was one of my favorites. The girls really liked that one. Wow. It was hunter green with a nice leather interior, and that baby would go flat out balls quick. I loved it. But I would say probably my favorite vehicle would have been my Jeep Liberty Rocky Mountain Edition. It was a 2008 Jeep Liberty. It was the first vehicle I ever owned, brand spanking new, that I actually owned, not rented. And that one was my favorite. I went everywhere in that. I drove to Florida in that one and back. And it was just amazing in the wintertime. Drop it in a four-wheel low and you could go anywhere. Yeah, fabulous. Fabulous topic, Mr. Chuck. I'm not going to turn it back to that control. I won't be around for the 7-3 round, but I'm glad I got a chance to chime in here. 7-3 and all, V3 did a good call. Back to that control.
All right there, Glenn, and I trust, Glenn, you're back in town, because I know you were way, way up in the Canadian bush there, in the Canadian whatever. You were way up there, so I think you're back in town. Anyway, good to have you with us, and let's find out if we have some more check-ins. All are welcome. Tonight we're talking about cars, and favorite car, and first car, and that kind of stuff, so take your time. I'll get you in here. Call, sign a name, please.
Kilo Mike 6, Romeo Sierra, Michael and Palm Desert.
W8, RJD, Ryan, Rochester Hills.
Alrighty, let's stop and pick up them two fellers. We got KM6 RRS along with W8 RJD. Michael, I think you heard the topic of our conversation this evening, because here in Michigan we had big cruises that went on, and actually we had like two big cruises that went on here. Three, actually. Two went on here locally, and of course we got the big car show going downtown, the new car shows, and up in the Frankenmuth area, was it? Or no, maybe, God, I can't remember, Grayling area. They have a massive, kind of like a Woodward cruise, so people come from all over. So we're talking cars tonight, Michael. And it's KM6 RRS. Welcome from NA Today.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, this is Michael, and I'm in Palm Desert, California, KM6RRS. My first car was a 1950-something Bell Telephone Rambler American. It's kind of an olive green car, and it was a gutless wonder, but it was my first car. And probably my favorite car was I think it was a 1990 Acura Integra, and that was just a really sporty little car. You could whip around the curves in the mountains, and I really loved that car. And that was black color, all black, which is really a hard color car to keep looking clean, so you got to wax it almost every week. But anyway, that was my favorite car.
All right, very, very good. Wow. Yeah, the Integras are really something. I thought they're pretty snazzy. So yeah. Well, welcome to that. I don't know if you've checked in before, but make sure you remember us next week, and we'll have a 73 round. And let's find out with W8 RJD. That's Ryan. Let's go find out what his first car was and favorite car was. Maybe it's like a AMC Pacer or something like that. Let's find out. Ryan, over to you.
Well, good evening, Chuck, and everybody on the net. So, first car. Okay, first car was a 1988 Ford Taurus. Bought it because it was pretty much all I could afford. Sold it just before I started college. Then let's see. Favorite cars would be, there were two. I had a BMW 325i. I think it was a model year, like 2007. That was fun. And then, now my newest favorite car is my, Ford F-150. Love that truck. Durable, does everything that I need, just solid machine. So, I'd say right now my truck is definitely one of my favorites. Like the BMW, it was fun to tool around in. I really just bought to impress clients, but the truck is far more durable and definitely way more fun to drive. So thanks for the question. Sending it back to that control. N8Z8 is a W8RJD.
All right there, Ryan. Those are great trucks. I hear they got this thing in them where they stop by every gas station. One of the funnest vehicles I had was a Jeep CJ7 with a 304 in it, 4-speed, and I put 810s in it and a Detroit locker in the rear. A Tenson 12,000-pound winch, 2-speed. Oh man, take the top off all summer long. What an awesome ride that was to play around with. Anyway, let's pick up some more check-ins. All are welcome. Don't be shy. I just need your call, sign, and name, and welcome to the net.
Good evening, Chuck. W0SCA, Blake. Salmon, Idaho.
All righty. Well, let's pick up Blake. Blake, you said Idaho? You must be traveling around. Very, very good. And let's find out what your favorite car was that you owned, that you started out with. What year's your first car, if you remember, and like maybe what's your, like your favorite sports car or whatever. So that would be really cool. I'm trying to remember, because Blake used to live here. I think your car your dad had, it was that 2-seater. It was gray, wasn't it? It was a 3000 GT, but it was the other version. I always liked them cars. Anyway, Blake, welcome to the net and over to you.
Well, good evening, Chuck, and everybody on the net. Yeah, I am traveling. I'm actually out on a fire here. I'm doing fire duty this and next week here in Salmon, Idaho, on a fire called the Moose Fire. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing here, and we are pretty much wrapped up for the day. I'm just kind of waiting on one last meeting, and then I'm done. My dad had he did have a 3000 GT, and had that thing for a long time. Loved it. Ranted and raved about it every chance he got, and you can see why. I think he had about 200,000 miles on it, and it just kept going. He sold it. Nothing wrong with it when he sold it, but it was time. Oh, let me buy a second here. I'm going to time this thing out. I have a favorite car per se. I love my truck, which is a 2008 Ford F-250 with the Power Stroke in it. Well, I love that. I mean, there's no getting around it. I think it's a great truck. My favorite car is actually I have a little sports car. I guess a midlife crisis issue. I have a 2002 Chevrolet C5 Corvette. And I'm in love with it. It's a great car overall. I think really good build quality and not the fastest thing on the road by any means, but certainly fun to drive. The thing's got 14,000 miles on it, so it's basically new. The guy that had it lived in South Dakota and just never drove it. Anyhow, that's really it. It just depends on what you're doing. I mean, if you don't need to drive the truck, drive the vet. So that's kind of my thing. I'm trying to think of what else. I used to really like. Now I will never get one because I can never afford to buy one. But I like the old. 1968 Barracuda. I mean, come on, how could you not love one of those? But the possibility of there ever being a budget to buy one of those is basically non-existent. So they're fun to look at, but I'll never own one. Back to you, Chuck. W0SCA.
All right there, Blake. Yeah, I was saying the 68 Charger. That's one of my favorites, the 68 Charger there. All right, let's find out if there's any other. See, I'm not coming over the hot spot here. It must be some sort of a backfire. Anyway, any other check-ins? Any other check-ins? Come right in. This is N8 today. All righty. Well, let's run back up to the top. Our 73 round. We don't have a massive group like usual, so we're going to get to W1IK, Mr. W1IK. I got to give him a heads up, W1IK, because he's camping and he could be having a fishing pull out on the dock there, or, you know, he could be helping the young widow next door in the campsite put up her grill. You never know. W1IK, welcome to our net, 73 round. Comment on anything you like, more car stuff, whatever. We want to know. Over to you, Jim. N8 today.
N8. Net control, here is Whisk 1, India Kilo, Portable 8, on Indian River, Michigan. Burt Lake State Park, more precise, although why I would want to be more precise, I'm not sure. At any extent, well, it's good to hear everybody on, nice to hear all the reminiscence and so forth. By the way, to WSCA, Randy says hi. Anyway, and he says hi to you as well, Chuck. At any extent, automobiles, you know that I'm brand loyal, or perhaps brand afflicted. I love my Volvo. I love my Volvo wagon. Second one I've had, first one saved my life, so I ran right out and bought another one. But I have not tested to that extent. I am to if I can help it. But, at any extent, like my Volvo wagons, specifically the XC70 wagon, it's just the right size, shape, and capacity for me. When this one gives up the ghost, this one here is spry and young at 275,000 miles in 2003, vintage, just getting good. Just starting to get good. So we're going to run this one as long as we possibly can. I'm on my third timing chain, and I think about my fourth set of tires since I bought it in 2008. W0EA went with me to get it in Wickliffe, Ohio, right near where there used to be an HRO. Not HRO, what's the other one? Out of business now. The other one. Anyway, lots of good utility out of that vehicle. It carries a lot of stuff, carries a lot of people if I need that, and it gets me where I need to get pretty well. Likes to handle well in curvy and wet and snowy terrain. Works pretty good for that. Get a good set of meats on it, and she goes good. And not very fuel efficient for a car that age and size. You'd think it'd be a lot better. It drinks a lot of gas. But, hey, that's what you get for a Turbo 5, right? Anyway, back to net control. It's good to hear everybody. Randy is hard at work in the galley making dinner. I have prepared to light a match to that after we eat, and checked into the RV Radio Network 40-meter phone net on 7264 kilohertz lower sideband. Anyway, waiting to get called. So I'll say 73, send it back to net control, N8ZA, and the group. This is Whiskey.
All right there, Jim, and hello to Randy there, and I'm sure Blake says the same thing. And we're glad you guys are having fun. We'll have to catch up on how did Randy like the golf course over there that he went golfing the one day, so we got to hear the story about that. Anyway, let's talk to WB80 now. Walt's been texting me, where's Larry? Larry got pulled over with a DUI. Yeah, He was charged with drinking battery acid. In charge. Walt, over to you.
That killed vaudeville. That's why the talkies came in. WB80. I was looking at the sunset. It was a beautiful red. And I'm wondering, and Blake mentioned about the fires. Remember a couple of years back, We were getting those gorgeous red sun settings because of the fires out west, and I wonder if that's happening again. Just gorgeous. Went up on the St. Clair River today. Took the wife there, had a wonderful time. We just sat by the river. A couple of 1,000-footer came down the river, a ship. Another ship was cut down. The ship was cut down to be made a platform, a regular, like, 500-foot, a solid deck. You could look like a floor. And it was a barge carrying sand. They made it into a barge and pushed by a tug. Very unique, repurposing a ship. No fishermen were out there at all. Then I don't know if you heard, we never eat out or get carry out. We're just not those kind of people. We got the worst Chinese meal I've ever eaten in my life. I mean, my stomach is actually upset over it. Paying for it and eating it. We did have a good time. I take Charlene out because, we keep talking about the lark in the park. And she lets me go with no problems. How many years, Chuck? I don't know, 20? We got to find out how long we've been doing larks in the park. I can't remember. Well over 10, maybe closer to 15. Everybody stay safe. Always a pleasure to meet up with my friends here, WB80. Thank you, Chuck.
All right there, Walt. Not a problem. And, yeah, we're looking forward to Lark in the Park. And also, it's a busy time in Michigan. The big annual boat show is going on, so all kinds of boats. Just crazy. By the way, if Jim's still listening, I forgot to tell him that when I was going through Grosse Pointe, the Grosse Pointes over here are, they're very hoity-toity, and there's big mansions, big stuff, wonderful places. And they were up in the air, and I just realized they were just giving me the bird. But anyway, the guy was driving like a 1996 Volvo. Mint. Literally mint. This thing was still on the road. I couldn't believe how nice it looked. And very plain looking, very non-stylish at all, but not blowing no smoke or nothing, going down the road. Let's talk Alpha Charlie Zulu Delta. That's Dave. You heard Dave run the net last week if you were around. Did a tremendous job. I mean, people sent hundreds of emails and texts wanting him. Just can't wait till he does it again. Dave, over to you.
But thanks for the support and the encouragement. And sorry, Walt. It was Gary and I kind of like persuaded you to get Chinese instead of your pizza because you had pizza before this week, and so I'm sorry about that. And there's probably not real chicken in there, whatever you ate, or beef. Probably not real. Or something like that, but very good. Yeah, I look forward to the Lark in the Park on Saturday. Hopefully the traffic jams won't be crazy, and your description of the construction I hope is exaggerated, and we'll actually be able to be a way to get into the park and things like that. And other than that, not much going on. There was something I was going to say, but I forgot, so we'll just leave it for another time and give other people a chance to talk. And with that, thanks for running the net, and 73s, everyone. AC8CD.
All right there, Dave. Dave, we are so glad you checked in. We're glad that you're helping run the nets, Dave, so that is fantastic. Walt actually was going to a special Chinese restaurant. It was a Chinese restaurant. In Marysville. It's the hoity of the toitiest go to this restaurant in Marysville for their Chinese food. These are families that have more than one goat, more than one sheep. They can afford to go to this place, so obviously he did not have a favorable rating for the joint, so I think the food truck would have been a much better deal, and he'll agree on that. NHUB. Let's get over to Andy right now. Summer activities going on over on that side of the state and everything else. Still beautiful weather coming your way, Andy. Welcome again, and over to you.
Hey, HB, well, thanks for doing the net there, Chuck. You guys do a great job on the east side over there with your nets and stuff. Always nice to check in here, see what's going on that way. We're gonna have some good sun here the next couple of days. Over the weekend, it probably won't see no rain until about Tuesday, I guess. And unless the weather gets change, I don't know, but we're going to try it like it is. Thanks for letting me in the net. I want to invite everybody to our net. That's West Michigan Connect, room 21335, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern. So use that same number for open spot or hotspot too. But if you get a chance, stop by Tuesday and say hello. Thanks, Chuck. Back to you, N8E2B.
All right there, Andy. Thank you very much. Thanks for the compliment. Well, it's all Walt there, Mr. WB. The honest, he is a very outspoken, a very charismatic, what's the word I'm looking for? A very outgoing person. Means if you were sitting alone, he would drag somebody over, hey, introduce you to the group. Everybody that gets on the repeater, he invites to the nets and stuff. And even when we're doing a Larks in the Park, he'll grab somebody that's trying to get in their boat and drag them over, tell them about amateur radio. Sometimes people even can't get to the Porta-Johns. He is just outgoing and is just a tremendous asset to the club, honestly. So we're really happy that he uses his power for good. It really has, whether people realize it or not, and most of us do. He's really helped the club out a lot just in the way he carries on with the club and his operations and everything else. Always a part of something, cooking in the kitchen, helping wherever he can. And that's what makes, people want to be around somebody like that, So hats off to Walt. I know he's not listening because he's already gone to bed. Next on the list is VK4MSS. Let's get Mal in here again and find out what else Mal's up to. And when you're doing all them big trips there, Mal, if you take a few pictures, send them our way to the website there, because I'm sure people would love to see it. Over to you.
Yeah, this is VK4MSS back again. Like the proverbial bad smell, always do turn up somewhere. Still camera photography is just a little bit towards the back burner at the moment because I'm making called a vlog, V-L-O-G, which is a contraction of video log. And when they get completed, they get posted on my YouTube vlog channel. I'm sure you all know that, so I won't go down that road for the moment. And while I have got the mic in the hand, Walter, WBAD, the Aussie throne man, the man who to have legal access to the royal throne of England. Now, that bloke's been around a long time, and his case has well investigated, and it is claimed that he does have legal access to the throne. Yeah, right. Imagine, especially Betty Two-Strokes. Could you imagine her moving over and say, here you go there, the t'other cider, come and sit down next to me and we'll talk about all your convict kinsman mates over there. All you blithering colonials. Yeah. It would never happen. The multi-billions of dollars that she's got, or had, they would just drag it out and send anyone broke that tried to challenge the system. So, yeah. But it's very interesting. I have followed it back some years ago when there was a bit of noise going on about it. And yes, presentments, he does have a claim on the throne. But it'll never happen. And now that Wingnut's in the chair, well, it's going to be interesting. We're all waiting with bated breath to see what will happen. Okay, gentlemen, thanks for another excellent net over there in Michigan, from Michigan. And as I say, I will be absent for the next 2 Fridays. I'll be out doing all manner of stuff, mainly having a good time. So cheers, 73 to all, and we'll catch us up in 3 weeks' time. Over to you, Chuck, N8ZA. This is VK4MSS.
All right there, Mel. Very good. And Mel will check out the vlog there, and I think the link is still on our website there. or on the Facebook site there, so pull some of that stuff out. So very, very good. Have a great time. Have a fantastic time. Of course, we'll hear all about it, I'm sure. And we'll get to see something again on YouTube there. VE3 Golf Course. No. Easy does it, Glenn. Taking cuts, Glenn. N8IQT. N8IQT. Dave, welcome to the net. What else you got? Over to you.
I'll be on the hot spot. It keeps me busy out in West Texas. Not a whole lot to look at. Let's see. Going to take a trip to Florida. I was up in Michigan in June, and I got to see family up in Commerce Township. I was in Howell. I was in Rochester Hills. I was in Trenton. I was in Ann Arbor. And I hardly got to see any friends. It was all family stuff, obligations, graduation parties. But it was good to come home. And, I miss the parks. I miss the metro parks and things like that. I miss the Great Lakes up there. It's a different lifestyle down here. There's some negatives. But certainly Michigan's a beautiful state. People. Well, anyway, we do have our Texas SADRC Net San Antonio Digital Radio Club. We span from Fort Worth, Austin, and San Antonio, Texas Valley. And we generally get about 15 to 20 check-ins now. We're restarted here. Took a siesta for the summer. And that's on Wires X40324, 8:30 Eastern. 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Probably should do 7 o'clock, but people are just getting home or they're eating. So that's why we do 7:30 Central. Back to you, Chuck. I'm going to go walk the dog. 73, nice there, y'all. N8IQT, San Antonio.
All right there, Doug. Thanks for checking in with us. And, well, it's great that you got to come up here and visit with family and all that kind of stuff. And great that you were, great that you were able to do it, actually. So, and now you're going to put some miles on the vehicle. So, there's nothing like a road trip, though, really. It can be a lot of fun. All right, now we're going to talk to VE3 Golf, Quebec Golf. We still hung around. Glenn, I think you are back in town. You'll have to let us know. Yeah, I believe you are. Glenn, over to you.
Hey, GG. Hey, Zebby. And the group. Yeah, I'm back in town, back into that wonderful grind we call my life. Driving to the yellow for the kids, running across here next to the Free Press. Yeah. I'm actually training a replacement for the Free Press right now, so that should be fun. And, other than that, just been busy, trying to get some stuff packed up, trying to throw some stuff out. You know, us ham radio guys accumulate all kinds of electronic doodads and gizmos. So, I did have an unfortunate accident, 2 days ago. I crashed the drone, and it fell 50 feet. I had just dinged a tree, and the leaf, got caught in the propeller and it shut all the propellers down and it fell from 50 feet. Landed about 40 feet down on another set of branches and leaves and then dropped the last 10 feet. Oddly enough, the only damage I suffered was a cracked gimbal for my camera on the drone. The drone's flying fine, but the stabilization for the camera has got a gigantic crack in it, and I'm going to have to take it apart and either epoxy it or order a new gimbal. So, my drone is out of commission for a little while, sad days. Oh well, winter's coming. I guess I really wouldn't have done much flying anyway. But it was great to have it on vacation, I'll tell you. I got some really good footage. And that's all I got, boss. Back to that control beat. GGQG.
All right there, Glenn. Very good. And sorry to hear about your drone. Yeah, the gimbal is always more the first thing to go. It's the sensitive thing. It's the thing that always breaks on the drones. And if it's a DJI or something, I'm sure some of the other companies, but I know that there's all of them replacement parts. I had a deal on a couple of them, but I thought, when am I going to get to use them? I mean, there's so many areas around here they really don't want you flying them that. And then places I go, it's like, well, do I really need to do that? But the vacation you took, I can see where it would be awesome. All right, KM6RRS. Let's see if Michael's still in or any other. And welcome to the net. Your turn. All right, let's move along and see if Ryan is still hanging in there. I might be picking up the kids from karate class already, or they might be back. W8RJD, Ryan, over to you.
Good evening, Chuck and the group. Yep, boys actually get back from karate a little early tonight. This was their early night, 6:30, so good for me. Great net. Thanks for running the net, Chuck. So yeah, I wanted to just let everybody know. So I was playing around today with APRS, and I kind of put together a little APRS. I was able to decode APRS and transmit on APRS using a Bofang and about, less under $30 in wires, cabling to get it done. So it was kind of a APRS on the cheap without an APRS radio. It was kind of nice to do that little experiment today and make that work. So, that was fun. I'm going to try to see if I can't do something similar. Try to do WinLink. I haven't done WinLink yet, so I want to give that a shot. But great net as always. Great hearing from everybody. I'm going to say 73. I'm going to send it back to NA today. This is W8 RJD Ryan in Rochester Hills.
Alrighty there, Ryan. I was trying, I can't think it was in Ryan's area or not. Maybe a little north. They also got the Renaissance Festival going on, where everybody dresses up like knights and queens and kings and whatever, and you go get yourself one of them turkey legs that's from an ostrich and club somebody over the head. Yeah, but they got that going on too. There's just way too much stuff going on lately. Let's talk to W0SCA. He's in Idaho. They got potatoes there. Blake, over to you.
Yeah, that's what they keep saying. They keep saying they have potatoes here. I haven't seen any. All I've seen is trees and smoke. That's about all I get. Yes, to answer Walt's question, there was a question regarding if smoke from the fires here is in fact making it to Michigan, and the answer to that question is yes, it is. It's actually, this time of year, you get that late fall, or I shouldn't say late fall, late summer. All that smoke from all the fires out west kind of makes its way east, and that contributes to all your beautiful sunsets there in the state of Michigan. So there you have it. And Chuck, I would have to agree with you on your statement that the Dodge Charger 1960s. I concur wholeheartedly with that. Yet another one we can talk about, but you clean out your bank account, you could, sell off all your houses, you still wouldn't have enough to buy one. I happened to see one at a car show here in Colorado, and this thing was just beautiful. I mean, everything about it was stock, and it was certainly probably repainted at least once, interior redone and all that stuff. And the guy was trying to sell it, and I just asked him just for fun. I said, "Well, what do you if you don't mind, what are you looking to get for it?" He said, "Well, somewhere around that $120,000 to $160,000 range." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, that's nothing that I'll be doing anytime soon." But hey, it is a beautiful car. You got to admit. What else is going on here? Not a lot. I've been had a chance to use I bought two new digital cameras. I got a Sony A7 Mark IV, and I also have a Nikon D4S. One's a digital SLR, and one is a mirrorless camera, and I've been kind of working with those, trying to get, maybe not so much trying to do anything important with them, but trying to understand them, I guess, for lack of a better term, and kind of slowly starting to get into the groove with both of them. I had some stuff I had to shoot today out at the fire, and used the Sony, and man, oh man, what beautiful photos coming out of that. The only thing I really need to do now is invest in some glass, which, the glass will cost more than the camera did, but, Chuck, I'm sure you know how that goes. The camera is just the vessel. It's the glass that actually makes the nice picture.
Alrighty there, Blake. Very, very good. And the D4 is sort of known as kind of almost a reporter's camera because in its time, it was always a fantastic camera and took photos pretty darn fast. So that's excellent. And the Sony stuff was awesome too, but yeah, it's the glass that does it all. I wish I had the money for the glass. I mean, it's like, yeah, I've got like I think it was a $1,600, and I think I got used. Whatever. But I mean, it's like all the other guys that, you tell their pictures are better, and, how much did that lens cost? Oh, it cost about $12,000. Oh, yeah, this was $18,000. It's like, yeah, if I had that kind of money, I'd be at the dollar store. All right, do we have any other check-ins? All are welcome. This is NA Today. All righty there, Blake. Very, very good. And yeah, the D4 was sort of known as kind of almost a reporter's camera because in its time, it was always a fantastic camera and took photos pretty darn fast. So that's excellent. And the Sony stuff was awesome too, but yeah, it's the glass that does it all. I wish I had the money for the glass. I mean, it's like, yeah, I've got like I think it was a $1,600, and I think I got used. Whatever. But I mean, it's like all the other guys that, you tell their pictures are better, and, how much did that lens cost? Oh, it cost about $12,000. Oh, yeah, this was $18,000. It's like, yeah, if I had that kind of money, I'd be at the dollar store. All right, do we have any other check-ins? All are welcome. This is NA Today.
K8 to KEH, Jim.
All right, let's hold it up there. We got a recheck from Walt, and we've got Jim, KHAEH, and yeah, I was going to say, Walt, it was about the smoke and to remove these out of your alarms in the house. Walt, over to you, and then we're going to pick up Jim.
Yeah, hi everybody again. Did you get the room that NAIQT said the nets are on? If not, I can look it up. I appreciate it. Back in that WB80, the room number I'm referring to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if I did, I'm sure I did when he said it, but it only lasted a millisecond in this ring. But let's see, NAIQT. Doug, are you still around?
Not real good there, Chuck. Thanks for running the net tonight. Talking about cars, huh? Yeah, I could go on for hours. But that would time out the repeater. My first car wasn't anything special. My first car was a K car, Reliant. It gave me, back in the day, had a what was that? That was a Horizon, which paired up with the Omni. They were pretty much the same, but the Horizon was a 5-speed stick, 5 on the floor there, standard little 5-speed, nothing fancy, 2.2 liter. But I'll tell you, I don't know what was up with that car, but here in Michigan, it didn't matter what kind of weather we had, whether there was 4 feet of snow on the ground or it was raining, plowed through it. I could drive the car through anything, and it would just do it. Whether I had to start off in second gear or not, that was a different story. But either which way, that car drove through everything. Reliant, not so much. I had other vehicles. I've had a Grand Marquis and the terrain that we blew the motor on recently, which was really interesting. I've had Saturns. Back in the day, a 5-speed stick, Saturn SC1 when they first came out. But my favorite muscle car is the original Challenger back in the day. I've never owned one. My neighbor, when I was a kid, had one, and it was just all the glory. Now, recently, I'd say within the last year, one of my colleagues picked up, I think it's a 2021. I have to double check the year. But he has a Dodge Charger Hellcat Red Eye. And today, he went in and took it in and got the exhaust done on it. Which, I was telling him, I'm like, you know what, it sounded great before. What's the difference? He only added about 20 dBs on the exhaust, like 105. And now he's around 125 dBs. And it doesn't sound tinny. It doesn't sound like those, poverty packs that we have around, or scat packs that some people know of them. That I have around here in the house, and oh yeah, they're loud. They floor it. They go nowhere, but they're loud. So there's that. I don't know, but again, I like the way that they brought the Challenger back. When they did bring it back, it mimicked kind of the same style that they had in the beginning. The Charger, when they brought that back, it didn't. And who knows where they're going to go with the Mustangs and things like that. I don't know about the whole electric. Let me buy a minute on the repeater. I don't know where they're going to go with the whole electric thing. I know that, you know, if you've got the grip on the pavement, you've got the torque underneath the hood with, as I would say it, with the electric vehicles and such. But you know, a lot of people, especially the new, I think that's the Challenger that they're coming out, the electric Challenger. You know, they kind of put a sound behind it, even though it doesn't really make that sound. So there's speakers somewhere that make it sound like a muscle car, and I have my doubts on that. Although today, I saw the hover bike. I don't know if anybody saw the hover bike demo that they had down at the North American International Auto Show, but that looked really cool. And if that goes somewhere, and I've been looking at motorcycles lately, if that goes somewhere, I might be very interested in that if it's in my lifetime. Anyway, that's what we got going on. Not a lot much else, so we'll send it back to you, Chuck. Thanks for running the net as always. And if it ain't not control, KKEH.
All right there, Jim. Very good. I was trying to think of the movie Vanishing Point. Remember the movie Vanishing Point? Man, with the Challenger. That was a good old movie. I haven't seen that in ages. All right, thanks for being in there. You have to tell me about the train. We'll have to talk sometime soon there. Be interested. No? Any other check-ins? Walt had a recheck. Did you have your recheck? I can't remember. Yes, you did. So quit nagging me. Any other check-ins? Call, sign, and name. All right, very, very good. Well, I want to thank everybody that stuck around for the second go-around. You're above the rest. You're on top of the crust. And we appreciate you. And, of course, this net would not be possible. Now, we need net controls and all that stuff. But you know what? We need participation. Without this net, it would not be possible without you. The net would not be possible without you guys checking in. So I'm off to run another net in about 25 minutes or something, or 20 minutes. So just in time for me to get some kind of wobble pop or something and go from there. So we'll officially close the net. Say 7 threes to everybody, and we'll catch you next week. See what happens then. God bless. NA to the
I found it on his QRZ page, Chuck, the room number WB80. It's 40324. 40324. We'll probably put that on Wednesday night on the repeater. Get more mileage for him. WB80.